Some places hold on to pain. They soak in suffering, rot in silence, and feed on the fear of anyone who dares enter. That's what they say about room 103 at the Ridgeway Motel. This forgotten roadside stop sits alone along Route 79 in the Arizona desert, about an hour from Yuma. On the surface, it's nothing more than a sun-bleached building with a flickering neon sign. But behind its cracked walls is a darkness no one has been able to explain or escape. The motel opened in 1963, built by a man named Earl Watkins. Locals warned him the land was cursed, said people used to hear screams from the desert long before any motel existed there. But Earl didn't care. He saw cheap land and profit. He built 12 rooms and named room 103 his quietest unit. But that room would be the death of him, literally. In 1968, a girl named Sarah Langford and her stepfather, Don Keller, checked into room 103. The two were running from something, later revealed to be domestic abuse reports in Colorado. Guests heard shouting through the walls that night, a woman crying, then nothing. Don left alone the next morning. Sarah was never seen alive again. When police broke in a week later, they found her body hidden under the floorboards. Her wrists were tied with motel towels, bruises everywhere. Her final message, written in lipstick on the mirror, read, "He said, I can never leave." Don Keller was arrested. In court, he said only one thing: "The room made me do it." After that, Ridgeway Motel changed. The first strange incident came in 1974. A salesman named Martin Blake checked into room 103 and disappeared overnight. His car was still in the lot, his suitcase untouched, the bed unslept in. The door was locked from the inside, and there were no other exits. Over the next 2 decades, 4 more guests vanished from room 103 under similar conditions. Police had no explanation. Dogs brought to investigate refused to enter the room. One even collapsed in seizures. Eventually, the motel shut down in 1977. It stayed boarded up until 1993, when a man named Rudy McAllister bought it at auction. He wanted to turn it into a paranormal destination. He reopened room 103. Bad idea. If you're finding this story as chilling as we are, take a moment to hit the like button. And if you're drawn to real horror stories, unsolved crimes, and the eerie unknown, consider subscribing. We uncover the dark corners of the world, one true story at a time. In 1982, before the motel officially closed, there was a part-time bellhop named Luis Herrera. He was a college kid, working nights to pay for school. According to an interview years later, Luis had one rule: never approach room 103 after midnight, a rule the older staff drilled into him from day one. One night, a last-minute walk-in checked into room 103. A businessman, quiet and pale, paid in cash. At 12:42 a.m., Luis was sweeping outside when he heard soft crying. Thinking someone was in trouble, he approached room 103. As he got closer, he heard something else, a child's voice humming a lullaby. He knocked once. The crying stopped. He knocked again. Silence. Then the peephole on the door slowly darkened, like someone was staring at him from the other side. Luis turned to leave, but the doorknob rattled. He swears he heard a whisper directly in his ear, though no one was behind him. "It's not locked for you." Luis ran. He quit the next day. 2 weeks later, police arrived to check on the businessman. The room was empty, again locked from the inside. All that remained was a chair facing the window and a pillow on the floor with long strands of black hair. In 1996, a young couple on their honeymoon never made it out. In 1998, a trucker's screams were heard echoing all night. When staff forced the door open the next morning, they found only his teeth arranged in a perfect circle on the bed. Rudy started sleeping in room 102 to keep watch. He wrote in his journal, "She's always at the window. She watches. Sometimes she asks to come in. Sometimes she already is." In 2005, a long-haul trucker named Mike Brenner was driving past the closed Ridgeway Motel during a storm. He saw a young girl, barefoot, in a soaked white nightgown, waving him down from the roadside. He pulled over. She looked around, 9 years old, terrified, and kept saying, "He's still in there. Please, I escaped the room." Mike called 911, and while they were on the line, the girl sat silently in the passenger seat. She stared at the dashboard clock. When help arrived 10 minutes later, the girl was gone. No footprints in the mud, no wet seat, no sign she had ever been there. By 2001, Rudy vanished too. The only thing left behind was a message carved into the wall. "The room takes who it needs." In 2021, YouTuber Carter Dells broke into the now abandoned Ridgeway Motel. He filmed a challenge video titled, "Staying Overnight in the Most Haunted Motel Room in America." His camera showed him joking at first, eating chips, setting up gear. But by 3 a.m., things got strange. Carter began mumbling, whispering. He stared at the wall for over 15 minutes, then looked into the camera and said, "She says, I belong to the room now." The video cut to static. Carter was never seen again. Only his phone was found, shattered on the floor of room 103, still recording. A retired deputy named Carla Mendez once spent the night in that room back in 1997 to debunk the rumors. She made it until 2:30 a.m. before climbing out the bathroom window and running barefoot into the desert. In a recent interview, she said, "It's not haunted, it's alive. The room doesn't want you to leave because it doesn't want to be alone. It wants to be remembered." As of today, Ridgeway Motel is padlocked and condemned, but ghost hunters and thrill seekers still visit the site. Some leave shaken, others don't leave at all. Enjoying the darkness so far? Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. New stories arrive when you least expect them. See you in the next spine-chilling tale.